Welcome to Trading Bits and Bytes. I'm Chad Moyer. We're visiting with Jeff Peterson at Heartland Farm Partners in Lincoln, doing our weekly recap here. First of all, your thoughts on the trade so far this week. Anything noteworthy, anything surprising you've seen so far?
Well, early in the week it was really disappointing in what we had, and actually the trade that we ended up coming into, Wednesday actually was a little weak, and as we came into Thursday, we had a really nice bounce in the market, and then we ended up having the whole talk about an agreement in principle, which that's a very noteworthy item. It sounds like, for what we're hearing from the sources, that the deal in principle is right at Trump's feet to go ahead and see if he wants to go ahead and sign. We assume they're talking about the phase one deal, but we're not actually sure about that at this point yet, Chad. So we're going to have to listen closer on that one.
I was going to say, this is going to be a let 12, 24, 48 hours run and see what actually comes of it, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the safest thing to do at this point. We don't want to make any assumptions.
All right. What sort of fundamental news did we see from the trade this week?
Well, I think the big thing, there was two things that came out. We had really good export numbers this morning in the weekly report. We had some good numbers coming out there, but then actually in the daily reporting system, some really good export numbers. About 1.6 million metric tons were talked about going to Mexico. Now, what's significant about that, Chad, is actually that's going to be the highest, the fifth highest actually daily total we've seen, going all the way back to 1977 on corn. So that was a good number.
Where do the exports sit? Are we concerned about year-to-date numbers or anything like that?
Yeah, we really are. So far, hard to believe. As we bring those numbers together, we're actually down about 44% for the year as we bring old sales and also what we got on the books together. And, USDA is currently forecasting we'd be down about 9.6%.
Okay. How about on the ethanol side? That's been quite a saga, a return to profitability, but then all of a sudden increased production again, huh?
Yeah, it really is, and that's been hurtful. We've actually went ahead and taken the actual price of ethanol down about 24 cents over the last couple weeks here. So that's putting some margins and some hit on the ethanol side. Ethanol so far, we're lagging what USDA is forecasting. USDA believes that we're going to come in unchanged, but we're lagging that. So we need to increase the ethanol production at this time.
Okay. We've talked a lot about corn. How about over in soybeans? Anything from South America, usage-wise there?
Yeah, the interesting thing on soybeans, all along we've been talking about soybeans and we've been saying that we're concerned about the demand side, and demand is off on them. But when we take a look at actually what we've sold and actually what we've got on the books actually to ship, what it actually shows is that we're actually ahead 9% compared to a year ago, and USDA wasn't forecasting anything like that yet. So if we could get an uptick in demand coming out of China, some additional demand, it's going to help pull this thing together on the bean side.
Okay. So far we've covered some rumors in the trade, we've covered some fundamental information. How about our marketing plan that's sitting on our desk? What should we be working that with right now?
Well, for most guys, what we probably need to do, Chad, is blow the dust off of it and get ready for this new year. But I think with the opportunity, what we hear a lot from our customers, they're going, I need some additional cash as I approach year end. What should I do? This isn't an area where we want to be selling yet. We've got our eye on some sales, but not yet. I think this is a perfect place to take advantage if you need some cash as some basis opportunity. If you go ahead and move it on basis, you got a good number. What you can actually do is you can come in, collect up to a 70% advance, and that's a good way to generate some cash that can help kind of ease things as you're going into this year end.
Okay, well, let's expand on that basis a little bit, because that really has been strong. Are you concerned that that's going to go away?
At some point it will, because it's not that we don't have enough corn out there. It's just the fact that there's not enough corn moving fast enough. I think we're okay in the short term, but as we look out further, we do have to go ahead and make sure that we don't get complacent and forget about it, because that basis opportunities will go away down the road.
Yep. All right. How about new crop? Anything that you're watching there?
Yeah, we are. We've got some eyes on the new crop side, and what we're looking at there is we'd like to see some additional bounce. And overall, we think we're going to have to go ahead and sell this market probably sooner than later. So if we could get a bounce somewhere up in that 4 to 405 area, I think that's an area where we'd like to let some new crop corn go. And at that same time, that will be a spot where we're going to have to go ahead and also make some sales on this old crop side.
All right, a lot of great information, Jeff. Just as we wrap up here, you spent 3 days at the Nebraska Power Farming Show in Lincoln, visiting with clients and producers. What was the attitude? What sort of sense did you get from the people that were walking around here this week?
Yeah, a couple things that stood out to me. One of those is the fact that there's a lot of individuals that are nervous about the profitability, and they're very hopeful that we're going to see a higher price down the road. So that's one of the things. There's also a lot of discussion about acres. Are we going to plant corn and bean? The general consensus that we have right now is I think we're going to see some more corn acres planted. So that even reinforces the idea that we may have to sell some new crop quicker than what we normally like to.
All right. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for the information.
You bet. Thanks a lot.
All right, again, that's Jeff Peterson at Heartland Farm Partners in Lincoln, and our Trading Bits and Bytes here for this week. Chad Moyer reporting.